the day started off well. I watched a rocket launch this morning. That always puts me in a good mood.
See, I missed that. God damn it.
Yeah. Going to Mars, baby.
Before we get to today, we have to get to last night, which is that my wife and I finished watching TV at about 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And someone will always say something. Yep, there you go.
That's how today's going.
One of us always does or says something stupid at this time of night. So
10 o'clock living life.
She's like, we should see how the Red Sox are doing.
Oh.
I'm like, all right. Red Sox playing the Mets. They're up by 3 runs. It's bottom of the 7th. We're like, okay, we can watch the end of this. Be in bed in like 20 minutes. 1 hour later, it's the bottom of the 9th. The bases are loaded, and the Red Sox are only up by 1 run and have 0 outs. Actually, they might have had 1 out by that point. And we're like, seriously. Yeah, so we stayed up until like 11:15 or whatever it was to watch the end of this game. They did win. Who cares? Nothing matters. And why on earth? It's already screwed up my whole day. I have so much going on today, and I have so much to write and so much to do. And it's 9 o'clock, and I have done dick.
Yet again, proving your worst enemy is in fact yourself.
Yeah. No, I married the perfect woman because we're conspiring against each other, with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, rocket launch. Yeah, 7:50. I meant to watch that. I didn't get up in time.
United Launch Alliance, launch that baby. Right up into the atmosphere.
I hope it was as good as the video of Joe Kelly striking out someone on the Astros and then did you see this video? It's awesome. He's got like an 8-game suspension for this. He said something. You can't hear it in the video, but what he said to the batter was, "Nice swing, bitch."
Was that this year?
It just happened 2 days ago.
Oh, God.
Joe Kelly's a former Red Sox reliever, which is why I'm so delighted by this. He plays for the Dodgers now. And he went like this. He goes,
So that is perfect on many levels.
The bench is cleared. No one could touch anyone, so it's unclear how they're going to fight.
I need to watch this.
It's second only to the video of Joe Kelly practicing in the offseason, and there's a video of him from behind him, and he throws at the target, and the ball because he's a wild pitcher, and it goes flying like 20 feet off to the side, goes right through his window, the window of his house. And I'm like, yep, that's the Joe Kelly I know.
What's great about that is obviously
I'm so glad baseball's back if it's not obvious.
What happened with the Astros and their whole cheating scandal, and
that was the point. It was the Astros, and that's actually the beauty of it because arguably the Dodgers got ripped off from a championship because of the Astros. Joe Kelly did not play for the Astros when that happened, so it's kind of humorous that he took this so personally. But
that's a pretty Boston way to approach it.
Yeah, it is. I know. Like I said, I love it. I saw that and I was like, yep. Beautiful. Just beautiful.
For people who, I don't even know what else is going on. Qualcomm had a really good quarter.
Yeah, got to write about that. It's one of the many things I have to write about. Samsung announced their results. Samsung has some kind of, it's signed a patent thing with Huawei. We had the 4 big CEOs from big tech in front of a congressional committee.
Did you watch any of that?
Yep.
Yeah,
I know it, but dude, it was a flashback to 22 years ago.
Yeah,
it's like people who know nothing about technology grilling the icons of our industry and being really belligerent about it. And look, they deserve it, I guess, but they just, like, one of the guys complained to Mark Zuckerberg about something that TikTok did. And he goes, yeah, we don't actually own that, but I can tell you what I would have done if it was ours, or something like that. And it's like,
I think it was at the Twitter one. There was one of them like early on. They were yelling at Mark about Twitter.
Yeah,
and Mark's just sitting there like, well, that's not ours. Like, it's,
yeah.
There was another one where guys asking like, why does my email end up in spam? It's like,
I don't know. Do you want us to give him a call? I don't know. Maybe you should have him here.
Yeah, there was some good grilling, but there was also a lot of that very stupid people who were just completely disconnected.
Idiot. Yeah. So the problem I have with this is that Tim Cook got up really lightly, and no one asked him anything about the App Store stuff, and that's nonsense. But the other thing that happened this morning was the EU competition commissioner, Marguerite, whatever her name is, that woman I love so much, is talking about introducing new laws in Europe that won't allow these companies to do what they're doing. I keep saying this, and I know some people don't understand it, and some people are still like, oh, they don't have a monopoly. Oh my God, what are you doing? And it's like, guys, I'm sorry, these companies are too powerful. They're going to be reined in. Like, it's going to happen, and they can do it voluntarily. or the laws are going to change. Like it's going to happen.
Yeah, some of the more interesting commentary that came out of it, and this is a technique lawyers are trained very heavily to do, is you never ask a question unless you know the answer to it. And there were a lot of questions. You'd be like, hey, did Amazon look at competitor data selling and then shut those companies out of market? And the guy, Jeff, would be like, give some nebulous answer. You'd be like, well, actually, I'm reading an email here from 2012. And like some of those were very...
He actually said, I can't guarantee that didn't happen.
I am hitting all the wrong buttons today. You know what? Yeah, you're right. He did say that. It was.
Just Bezos was the one who had the biggest gaffe, I would say.
Zuckerberg was up there too, but only because of his own emails that says we're going to buy this company so that they can't compete against us or whatever that was.
But yeah, I mean, it's not illegal unless you're, a monopolist. I mean,
unless you're intentionally doing it so that they can't compete in the market. That's the catcher.
But that is a strategy. I mean, Microsoft could have bought Slack to take, to have that functionality for themselves.
Can you imagine how happy they are? They still haven't done that, because they would have been in this meeting had they done that. I bet.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. They, you could make the argument. Look, Microsoft is bigger than 3 of those 4 companies. I mean, maybe they should have been there anyway, but Microsoft is not a consumer darling. So
right.
To individuals who vote for the congressmen who are on this committee, Microsoft is a non-entity, despite the fact that they are the second biggest company in tech by a, very small margin, and are one of the biggest companies on earth by far. I mean, but anyway, yeah. So yeah, these companies are all consumer companies. That's the reason they're there.
Yep. So I don't know where it goes from here. I'm sure they'll take their testimony and just do nothing with it. But whatever, they're going to plow forward with whatever they do or do not do. And this road is far from reaching the end.
Oh yeah. No, this is just.
It's got to be more trials and more.
I guess you could look back and say, the problem is where we are in time. So when Bill Gates went before a congressional committee for a similar reason, would have been 1998, the federal government did announce an antitrust investigation. I think it was shortly thereafter, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to go look at the timing, but I think it was that year. There are certainly several regulatory bodies investigating each of these companies for various antitrust concerns, and there could be cases or what do you call it, charges brought or whatever. But even the president has said, like, if these guys don't do anything, I'm going to sign an executive order to do it. Yeah. It's like, politically, we're at kind of a point where there's going to be an election within the next 4 or 5 months, whatever it is, and everything could just change.
Yep.
So we'll see. I mean, the Republicans seem to be more concerned about conservative bias, which is a crazy political issue. And the Democrats supposedly are concerned about antitrust, but I don't see a lot of stomach for reining in American success stories, frankly, in America. I think it's going to have to come from Europe, and I think it will.
I think that's where it starts, because there's always that sort of fear in Congress, if you will, that they don't want the EU controlling the narrative for how business should operate in America. So they will try to sometimes get out ahead of that, but it doesn't always happen that way. GDPR is a good example of that, but.
Yeah, and Microsoft has made. I think it was Microsoft who made the case that we will voluntarily do GDPR for everyone. Like that's I think that's their policy for data retention and whatnot. And that's something the companies could do proactively. Like when Google lost the right to be forgotten so-called rule. I don't think it's a law. Whatever it is, a rule, law, whatever. They kind of said, like, look, we're only going to do this in Europe. It's like, yeah, okay, but. Just do it everywhere. Like, just do it. Like, make it just the policy, And I think that's a better approach. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will see. We shall see. Not too much else happened really yesterday. I mean, more of the team stuff is rolling out. I mean, that's sort of
a lot of stuff, though. I mean,
yeah, earnings related and
there's a lot of earnings things happening now. We talked about Spotify yesterday, I guess, right? Yeah, I have like 18 tabs open. There's so much going on. Like you said, the Qualcomm stuff is in there. EU I was launching an investigation of Google's acquisition of Fitbit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Samsung results. A lot of stuff out of the antitrust thing. I think that's going to be.
Yeah.
I got right? At least the news.
It's going to be a theme for a while because those guys said a lot. There was a great time though where Bezos had not been. He didn't get asked a question for like 85 minutes or something. And Dina Bass tweeted out like, "If you could ask Bezos one question, what would you ask him?" And I was like, "Why do you hate Brian Hall?"
That's, by the way, that's been settled. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, Brian's now working at Google, and that Amazon's whatever they did are trying to sweep that under the rug because they realized how much of a cluster that's been.
If you care about Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's going to be on Steam, and it is going to support VR.
Yeah, but it's only like one VR headset though. I think isn't the one from HP or HP.
Is it HP?
Yeah,
you're right. The Reverb G2. Okay, so this is interesting because this is a device that's not available yet. So they kind of previewed it sometime earlier this summer or spring or whatever. And I actually I think I'm getting one of these to review for some reason. I don't even really care about VR, but yeah,
send it to me then.
Exciting. You'll end up with it eventually, but I've had a folder in my to-do folder called Reverb G2 for months, and literally yesterday I was like, archive, because I'm like, what's going on with this? Why am I holding on to this? But it's not coming out till the fall. That's why.
That's why. Did you see too that I don't know if we mentioned this Flight Simulator comes on 10 DVDs?
Yeah. Well, if you want that physical,
right,
that's an option. Yeah, 10.
That is just
how many floppies would that be?
Yeah, like
you can't even calculate that really.
A U-Haul truck would show up full of floppies.
Yeah, it would be something. It would be like that pile of money in Breaking Bad, but there would be floppies.
Yeah, and the problem would be that number 6,772 would be missing, and that's the only
so
one.
So just be corrupt.
Yeah,
like abort, retry, fail. What the hell?
That's just the theory of this podcast. Abort, retry, or fail. Mostly fail.